always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Suffocating, I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. With crimson secrets and forbidden bliss, can't stay still, don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within, mistakes ignite the silence. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Connect the dots straight to the start of intoxicating want. Lingering touch, these words will stay. It's like set my heart on Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart connect the dots straight to the start of intoxicating water. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. With crimson secrets and forbidden bliss, can't stay still, don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within, mistakes ignite the silence. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. and me repeat? This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. With crimson secrets and forbidden bliss, can't stay still, don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin, temptation within, mistakes ignite the silence. Nightmares creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire.
AFC are in the midst of running away with the A-League title. I think they're 12 matches unbeaten. The only blemish on their copybook this year was a loss to Western Sydney Wanderers in the local derby. But they've won 11 of their last 12, and they really are a team to reckon with under Steve Corica, who's carried on some great work from Graham Arnold.
They have been excellent this season. They really have. Graham Arnold, when he moved on to the Australian national team job, and his assistant for many years, Steve Corica, took over the role, had a very good season last year and has really carried on in what is another excellent season for them. In the 15 games played in the A-League, they've won 13 of those, drawing one and only losing one. They have been very, very difficult to beat. They've been ruthless in front of goal as well. And whilst they have not performed that well in the Asian Champions League last year particularly, they're certainly coming into this game in outstanding form, and they'll hope to turn the tables in this regional competition where they found it really hard going.
Yeah, only really Western Sydney Wanderers and Adelaide have made an impact as Australian clubs in this competition. I know we've discussed it on several times in the past, but it's always a mystery to me how the Australians don't seem to travel well in Asian competition.
They have found it challenging. It's not through a lack of trying or a lack of focus either. Obviously, domestically, when you look at the A-League, there is no promotion relegation. So that does create a little bit of a safety net for teams where you're not needing to avoid relegation or avoid a dogfight in that way. So it does allow the teams and the managers to be able to rotate players and focus on both tournaments when they are coming thick and fast. They have found it difficult, and I think it's been a little bit of a real detriment reputationally for the domestic competition, where the big teams who have performed well in that previous season in the A-League have not been able to carry it through regionally. And I think there's been a real awakening and a real appreciation across Australia of how difficult and how fast football is developing in this region.
It will be much easier in a group that contains also Shanghai SIPG and Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors, former champions of the AFC Champions League, and Yokohama F Marinos are flying. But we'll see if Sydney are up to the task. This is the AFC Champions League group stage. It's match day 2, but it's the first match of the campaign for Sydney FC as they come into the Yokohama Stadium to take on the Marinos. first time these teams have ever met in any form of club competition. As you say, Sydney taking part in the AFC Champions League for the 6th time, but they've only won once in their last 16 games in the AFC Champions League. 9 draws in that group as well. It is a strange statistic to take through. However, on match day 1, Yokohama Marinos said that this won't be easy. They had a possession of 70% in their first match, which was a 2-1 victory at Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors.
This is going to be a very good game. We certainly know the way that Ange Postecoglou approaches games. He doesn't change it depending on the opposition. He is very much on the front foot, very proactive, defending high at the park, relentless pressure, aiming to win the ball back early, and real penetration in those wide areas of getting bodies forward to support in attack.
This is the Yokohama side, unchanged from the team that played in Korea. Tiraton will play at left back. It's a 4-2-3-1 with Kida and Ogihara in the central midfield areas. Japanese-born Adu Onayu will be leading the line. Match referees are all from Iran. Moon Bonyadifard is a very experienced campaigner. We've seen him at the AFC Asia Cup. It's an all-Iranian match officials today for an Australia versus Japan clash. Again, just one of the many intriguing factors that make the AFC Champions League so fun to watch. As for Sydney, interesting, Alex Johan comes into the team on the left-hand side for Ninkovic, who normally plays on the left-hand side but isn't in the AFC Champions League squad. But Johan does not weaken you. He's had a really good season, having signed from Western Sydney last year, and he's got a stellar CV, including Borussia Mönchengladbach, Schalke, all Bayern Munich on his resume as well. So it's a strong side that Steve Currick is able to put out.
It certainly is. Very well balanced, dominant domestically, but they really do have a tough spine about them, but a real creativity in that final third as well.
Interesting official name for Angelos Postekos and Stephen Christopher Corica. Ange Postecoglou, as he's known, and Steve Corica. They are known to each other. Will know a lot about how the other plays. Postecoglou, surely he will look on this as a chance to put another 2 fingers up at the Australian establishment, who really didn't back him when he was in charge of the national team. PJ Roberts, fair comment?
Yeah, pretty fair. He basically once had qualified with the national team through to the World Cup. He then resigned. Many people couldn't quite understand it. You've done all the hard yards, you've worked incredibly hard over a few years to qualify, which was an arduous campaign when Australia had to go through the playoff, but felt that the support wasn't quite there. The appreciation for the type of football, he's very much a purist. He is around his style of play and the performance, and then hopefully the result will then follow. But the performance and the style is absolutely fundamental to his philosophy, and just felt that he probably wasn't respected as much as he felt. So he made the decision to resign.
Sydney get us underway at the Yokohama Stadium, venue for the 2002 World Cup final. And early, really pressure coming on there from Nakagawa and Anao. Throw-in will go to the all white-shirted Sydney. In beautiful conditions, that picked up by the teenage left-back Joel King. Bratton. Outside him was Ryan Grant, the national fullback. Anticipating a 4-2-3-1 for both sides. Was focusing very much on Teruhito Nakagawa. Really has made a name for himself as the attacking thrust down the right-hand side. Bratton has done well. Gutierrez. Thumping tackle coming in. It's from the centre-back, Makito Ito.
It's a good tackle. There will be a very strong tussle in the middle of the park. Luke Bratton particularly focusing on his defensive duties and real box-to-box.
King doing well, finds Adam Lafondra. There's another who's scoring goal every other game since he moved into the A-League. He had one season in the English Premier League with Reading, did Adam Lafondra. Scored double digits in that season as well, so he's certainly got a good CV as well. There's lots of players in Asia now with really top-class CVs.
He has been a very good acquisition for Sydney FC. Very lively, really in the prime of his career as well. He's very tenacious up top, doesn't mind the defensive duties as well. Real eye for goal, very clever.
Tiraton, lovely ball down the outside, trying to pick up Kita Endo.
And awesome to see Tiraton at this level as well. Not only playing, but playing consistently, playing well and winning.
Endo down the line to Ado. Ado's cross is picked up by Andrew Redmayne. Tall, imposing goalkeeper. Tries to fizz that one through. It's Thiago Martins who made the clearance.
Not a bad option, actually, a little bit unorthodox.
The left side of the back two, Thiago Martins into Matsubara, both full-backs, as is I suppose the DNA of many Japanese club sides will get forward.
It is quite stereotypical of Japanese South Korean teams, for sure. The left and right full-backs are just incredibly versatile.
Here is Tiraton, just to prove that point, inside for Ado Anuayu. Ado again curls it in, belted clear by Alex Wilkinson. Two tall pillars in defence, Alex Wilkinson and Ryan McGowan. Free kick goes the way of Sydney.
Thiago just blocking the run of Adam Lafondra.
Trying to play in Costa Barbarouses. Broken out to Endo. Ado. Endo throws down very quickly. Solid challenge coming in from Alex Wilkinson. Grant, just around the corner, picks up Retra. Lafondre onto Caceres. Joel King. Sydney will come into this match full of confidence due to their domestic form. As Wilkinson and McGowan just swap passes. Wilkinson, Grant. Now then, Caceres. Bratton thought of teeing up a shot and only tamely finds Tiraton.
Very important interception as well. Ryan Grant on that right-hand side.
Endo takes it in his stride. Lovely flow to this opening 5 minutes. Ooh, late call on the...
Slightly coming in from behind.
Tubara it was who was fouled. Endo, Tiraton, advanced position.
Oihaga, great strike.
Onto Tiraton. He drives on into the body of five, and then the shot wide from Ogihara once again.
Ogihara disappointed with himself. Earlier opportunity as well. Ogihara, excellent volley. He certainly didn't know too much about it though. The pace by which the volley came in his direction.
There's Ado Anayu, Japanese born and bred.
A very energetic player leading the line.
Now then, long ball looking for Ryan Grant, who made a good forward move.
Sydney FC in his right fullback position.
And he had to stretch there to prevent the ball reaching Kita Endo.
Indeed, he says.
Endo, Ogihara, Kita drives it forward, was looking for the Brazilian Marcos Junior. Joel King bashing as part of the job.
He had a sense that it was coming. Kiedis just comes storming along. Fondra just uses his body well, absorbs the foul.
Grant. Flag has gone up, but noticeable that the goalkeeper was very advanced in his starting position.
That high line that Yokohama are playing to keep it very compact in those midfield areas. You need your keeper being very alert and very aware on the edge of the box to come out and act as a sweeper to collect any balls over the top.
Just a little bit short there of Ogihawa. Marcus Jr. has been given a lot of freedom. It's ostensibly a number 10 role, but sometimes in midfield there he just was feeding Ogihara. It's too close to goalkeeper Redmayne. In this opening 10 minutes has looked very composed and very comfortable, Andrew Redmayne. You breed good goalkeepers, you Aussies.
Bit of a byproduct of a number of sports where using your hands is prevalent. Australian rules football, rugby league, rugby union, cricket. Most young Australians, men and women, grow up playing a number of those different sports, and certainly has helped in the goalkeeping position in football.
Lovely ball round the outside, Marcus Jr. Little ding for Ado. That's clever, that's creative.
And incisive as well. Good delivery.
We'll have it up, neat and tidy between Retcher and Bratton. Lafondra. Matsubara. Goes long, and again, look at it. Run this time of Nakagawa. Able to get better of Joel King, who only got himself in the team because of an injury, but he's acquitted himself really well, the teenager. He'll find a real test against the pacey Terahito Nakagawa today. Not sure that ball ever came in. Might be a retake for King.
Simplicity of it, very classic.
Ado! Deflected! And 12 minutes in, a lovely spin and turn from Ado Onayul. And Yokohama have the advantage that their possession probably deserves.
Well, that is absolutely brilliant. Ado demonstrating his qualities, the very, very best. Very little room to move. He just opens up his body, has a strike. It does take a wicked deflection, but nevertheless, Yokohama certainly looking threatening. Plenty of possession around Sydney FC's 18-yard box. And Ado will take that all day long.
Alex Wilkinson, the man who it came off in the end, gave Andrew Redmayne no chance in goal, but again a bright start is rewarded for Yokohama. And they have mixed it up, so they've gone long on occasion. That time the foul against Nakagawa. But a short, sharp pass, and Ado has already proved to be a bit of a live wire, PJ.
Disastrous deflection for Sydney FC. Redmayne cannot do anything about that. But again, you've got a half.
Ogihara. Marcus Jr. Tiraton. Little shaking her up down. He'll be okay.
For their style of football and how attractive it is. But there is a real ruthless that conceding that early goal, and we reflect on how they've performed in this competition in recent years with only one win.
Spinning away is Anthony Gutierrez. He's just caught by Kida. But it's the energy and the pace, I think, is rather taking Sydney by surprise, even though they're right in the midst of their league and are playing a lot of games. There's an energy about Yokohama.
Sydney FC, to be fair, haven't performed that poorly in this game. They're comfortable on the ball. They're looking at playing the ball out of the back. They're moving it round. They're getting bodies forward. Yokohama, just with their approach, are just suffocating. They're pressing high at the park, very tenacious in closing the ball down. see even on this occasion the tackles coming in to not only make a challenge or to at least close the defender, but even look at trying to sneak a toe in and intercept the ball. Again, another occasion there. Absolutely suffocating Sydney FC at the moment.
Ito slamming it into Tiraton. It's gone Johan. I don't think I've mentioned his name so far. He's not been able to get onto the ball. He's operating down the right-hand side. Kachere's down the left. But look at the tackling once again. That time by Ado. This is Endo. Could go either way, and Endo, in the end, doesn't get the cross in, but the danger isn't over. Tiraton in support. Junior. Ryan Grant just able to smuggle it away to Luke Bratton. Look at that, Tiraton's in quickly and Endo is in there. No time on the ball for Ryan Grant. Matsubara changing of positions as well. The fullback's now well in field. This is Tiraton. Marcos Junior. Endo. Tiraton again. Marcos, lovely little touch. He's taken a buffeting there from Bratton. Now this is what, 15-20 passes in a row now. Sydney not being able to get a touch of the football. And they
so quickly, which is causing all sorts of trouble for Sydney FC.
Tiraton, Ugihara, Endo. Marcus, who's a blur of activity. Easy for McGowan, but only as far as Endo. Tiraton to his left. And goes instead for goal. McGowan, Grant is closed down by Ado, the goal scorer. Can only pick out Tiraton. Ugihara, Kida. Quick flowing football. McGowan's headed clearance. Retre. Even he's closed down. That was by Nakagawa. Another buffeting for Marcos Junior. And another one. Matsubara wins it back, finds Thiago.
Sydney FC just putting themselves under immense pressure. Being very poor on the ball.
Nakagawa! Endo didn't attack the ball on the back post, although credit to Ryan Grant for stopping him getting that opportunity.
Here we see the danger from that wide area. Delightful cross. Redemain's in two minds, not sure whether to come off his line. Just need a little bit more support attacking that ball.
That's old-fashioned wing play, isn't it? Touch, get out your feet, get the cross in.
Exactly. In behind the defender in that space where the keeper's unsure whether to come or not.
Tsubara narrow. Ogihara. Tiraton again advanced. Endo can't keep it in. McGowan's done well. This is a trying opening 20 minutes for Sydney FC. Here's the goal once again from a different angle. And now isn't favourite to win this ball, but when it breaks to him, he's got one thing on his mind. Bit of fortune, admittedly.
He just turns on it. One thing on his mind is certainly to have a strike. That is really demonstrating how dangerous he is. So very clever.
Born in Saitama, he's 24 years of age now. Started off at Jeff United in Chiba. Spent a season at Urawa. Now very much part of Yokohama, having signed for them at the start of this campaign. What a way to introduce himself. And the 23 international. Now then, Nakagawa running at Joel King. Nakagawa dealt with by Alex Wilkinson. Matsubara couldn't control it. Who's mid-season? Who's just warming up for the year?
Oh, it's been a relentless start. would expect potentially, and you wouldn't be surprised if Yokohama need to take a little bit of time just to find their rhythm and build momentum, but they have started absolutely superbly. When we speak about the style of play and the philosophy of Ange Postecoglou, and it is relentless, his demand of his players and his expectations. It really is a remarkable achievement to turn around this squad of players into not only winning games, but winning in style and winning in the manner that demands such high intensity work rate from players. Sydney FC, we've got to keep in mind, they are the best team in the A-League by far at the moment. And they are a little bit shell-shocked in the way that they're being put on the back foot.
Caceres trying just to change things a little bit. Caceres king outside of him. They're working just as hard in defence and attacking as they come up in a line. Aduanayu was attacking the ball. Credit to Sydney, they did well to keep all their players on side there, and Lafondra's made an angled run. That time the flag is up for offside. Would have been a tap-in for Costa Barbarouses.
Well, Ryan Grant's always going to be looking at getting in behind.
It's tighter.
It is very tight. Just looking at Matsubara, right fullback, it was an awful lot tighter than what it initially appeared. But there's that high defensive line that Yokohama do deploy. They want to keep it nice and compact in that midfield area, which is absolutely crucial in their style of play, in aiming to press and suffocate their opponents into giving the ball away cheaply. It does leave plenty of space in behind the defence, which is absolutely crucial there for Hachikawa to act as a sweeper and support. It certainly does provide Sydney FC with an option, though, if they can get on the ball in midfield.
Ogihara couldn't quite keep it in. Teruhito Nakagawa is quick, but not that quick. They played with such intensity for the opening 22 minutes, Postecoglou's side. They can't keep that up for 45, can they?
Certainly did last season. Expect them coming into this season. Sometimes, depending on how the manager and the performance staff manage the pre-season and the periodisation around the fitness levels and when they're peaking, very clear to see that for Ange Postecoglou, they've wanted to start as possible. It certainly will be interesting to note as the game does evolve whether they can do that for the full 90 minutes, given the fact that it's the very early stages of their season. In saying that though, Des, I certainly wouldn't be surprised that they can.
It's called fence sitting, PJ Roberts.
I'm pretty sure Sydney FC will be hoping that they cannot.
Indeed. Here's Thiago. Pace has dropped just momentarily. Not from Marcus Jr. though. I've just been following him. He's run 60 metres. He's the one who's offering himself for the ball. Now he's got a double back.
His movement off the ball is exceptional. Gets a lot of work in.
Nakagawa. Here he is, Marcos Jr. Tiraton. Endo. Marcus has made a run to help Endo. Endo can go either way. There is Marcos Jr. Redmayne paws it away. Despite all his running, he still had the explosion of pace there, PJ Roberts.
Excellent acceleration, very, very fast.
Goalkeeper out to the extremities. Kajikawa to make the clearance, only finds Ryan Grant. This is Rector. That's a better ball, over the top, it finds Joel King. He's got Lafondre and Barbarouses ahead of him. This is Gutierrez. King. Gutierrez once again. Addo is back helping out, wins the free kick.
That's really well done by Addo. leading the line, furthest player forward, but really does enjoy getting out and supporting in defence.
Flag is up for offside against Costa Barbarousos. Here's the earlier movement. Explosion of pace and Redmayne. Just enough. Nakagawa onto Matsubara. Marcos Junior, 27 years of age. For Brazil, his third attempt on goal. That's Kida.
They're looking very comfortable at the moment. Yokohama, as we look at that early opportunity, Junior, really good movement, good understanding of that one-touch passing. Does have an Australian support cast there, but certainly, as we have witnessed, plenty of translators as well to ensure that message does get across. It really does make the achievement even more remarkable when you're not speaking the native. You need to make sure that obviously your translators have got a pretty good understanding of football as well. There's a few notable coaches around the world that start off their careers like that.
Yes. It's a very important role as Kida picks it up in his important role for Yokohama Marinos, who lead Sydney. Proposed match against Shanghai SIPG. Martins, loose pass from Thiago Martins. There's not been too many loose passes from the hosts. Off him. Possessional stats, it's 69 to 31 in favour of Yokohama Marinos. And it feels like that.
It certainly does. It really does. Very much in control of this game.
This will suit Sydney a little bit. The tempo has gone down just a touch. Allow them to just renegotiate.
They're just really starting to just get a little bit of an understanding of the game. It was played at such a ferocious pace early on.
Now it's through to Nakagawa! Lovely chip, lovely goal. 2-0 on the half hour.
Delightful finish as well, absolutely out of nowhere. Nakagawa pounces on that penetrative run in behind that Sydney FC defence, and he finishes it absolutely gorgeously. As soon as Sydney FC look as though they're working their way into the game, look at that build-up play. There's nothing spectacular, there's nothing precious about it. We just see ultimately it is poor defending. By King, Nakagawa, what a finish, brilliant.
He was more alert than Joel King, his fullback. And when both centre forward and centre half missed that, it's a delicious finish.
He's loved that. King just gets caught in two minds. Nakagawa makes that run in behind. He's obviously thinking about holding his line and maintaining that defensive line. Nakagawa just pounces on that in behind.
is the goal scorer, Nakagawa. Ahead of him, he's got Anu, the scorer. Nakagawa onside for 3-0. Tidderton saw the oceans of space that Nakagawa had found.
As the ball does come in, he's completely unmarked. He drifts in behind Luke Bratton, has a couple of touches, slots it into the back of the net. Brilliant pass from Tiratui. And all of a sudden, in a different regional competition in the Asian Champions League, they find themselves 3 goals down in 33 minutes. And to make matters worse, it's against Ange Postecoglou.
It's a Flugels 4 storm. And Sydney, at the moment, are being blown away. Here's Ado, who started it.
Well, it's just the pace.
Marcos is caught. Referee is playing on there, but now that's 4 times Marcos has found himself receiving the attention of Luke Bratton, and I think Bratton this time is at the very least going to get a talking to. But I'm not sure whether Marcus Jr. is making a lot out of these challenges. It's a talking to from the Iranian official.
We certainly understand what Luke Bratton is aiming to achieve. You're wanting a reaction from your players and from your teammates. They're needing something to spark them into life. Certainly not because Sydney FC haven't prepared or haven't approached this game in the right mental mindset. It's just the very fact that Yokohama are just performing on such a different level with the pace and the intensity and the movement, the quickness of passing, something that Sydney FC are just not used to. Back in the A-League at the moment, it is just on another level, and Yokohama, so early in their season, are
unbeaten in 12.
Well, Sydney FC are definitely a very good team. Certainly not seeing it this season.
Stayed down. 27-year-old Brazilian is he's been on the floor after challenges 3 or 4 times. Kita. Again, Marcos that time waited for it. Now then, Barbarossos in the chase, and that's good defending from Thiago Martins. Really took control. Kajikawa could have made it. Look at who's back there. Marcos Jr. Just reaches round, free kick against Nakagawa, but his 2 goals have really ripped the heart out of Sydney. There's it's like breaking play. I'm not quite sure what that's for. The corner flag. Yes. Thiago Martins, I'm pretty sure, picked it up when he was right in that corner.
Junior.
Well, if it's not the players kicking him, it's him slamming himself into the corner flag. Again, Matsubara becomes temporary groundsman, utility player. From Johan. Really hasn't been able to get to the pace of the game. Nobody has from in a white shirt.
No, they just haven't been able to provide anything going forward. They've just been really forced into their own half, defending, playing catch-up, chasing shadows. I'll enjoy being down the other end for a little while.
Mugihara blasts it into Bom Johan. Kita looked like he was hitting the floor anyway, and Thiago's a big lump for Anthony Gutierrez to try and manhandle away.
The referee got a bit excited, and absolutely nothing in that. Caceres with a very cheap foul given away there. There was no need for that. They did let Yokohama off the hook, but how easily they play out of their defensive third.
Another foul conceded, that time on Matsubara. It's a combination of frustration and just trying to get back into the game, and maybe just trying to impose themselves on the game from Sydney here.
And just trying to gather a reaction from yourself and from your teammates. And you're under the...
Grant's lovely ball around the outside, but Kajikawa...
You're under the pump like that, and you're in a situation where everything just does not seem to be working in your favour. You need a reaction. You've got to try different things. Sometimes just keeping it simple and raising the intensity and the work rate and throwing yourself at a few tackles is one way to try and force your way back into the game.
Matsubara. Nakagawa. Tilaton coming. That's the left back, playing now on the right wing. And there's cover for him. Ogihara. Straight into McGowan. Endo. Ito. Thiago. Another spell of possession. Marcos Junior. That time he couldn't get the better of Paulo Retre. Strength from Ito. Holds off Costa Barbarosos. There was a reasonable level of optimism coming into this game for Sydney FC. It has dissipated.
Played it very quickly.
Endo.
And so they should have been confident coming into this game, having that self-belief, but Yokohama have just been absolutely ruthless. A little bit fortunate with that first goal with a wicked deflection, but certainly no complaints about the next two in relation to their deserving of that.
9 shots to 0.
It's a damning statistic.
Yep, the stats, I think, could suggest even more. Damaging statistics, possessional stats, 70-30 in favour of the home side. 92% pass accuracy.
And ruthless in front of goal, 4 shots on target, scoring 3 of them.
Here's the official Opta stats that are being fed to us live. And there's no star in the team, is there? Okay, we can mention Marcos Junior, but everybody is contributing.
They are such a tight-knit unit. They are very, very well organised, very disciplined in their approach. Every player on the pitch has a very clear understanding of their individual role and responsibilities and how that is impacted in the larger team structure.
Another match taking place tonight as Marcos again takes a tumble in the group involving Johor Darul Taksim. Suwon Blue Wings 0, Vissel Kobe 0, approaching half-time there. Kobe gave Johor an education with a 5-1 mauling last week. Masterclass from a certain Andreas Iniesta. Now then, run ahead from Barbarosos. Johan bundles his way forward and eventually wins the free kick. Tilaton disagrees. So is there something just before half-time for Sydney?
It's actually quite a good challenge from Tilaton, just the fact that he just had a hold of his opponent's shorts probably let it against him. But even on that occasion, they're 3-0 up. It's the dying stages of this first half, and they're chasing back, they're harassing their opponents. That intensity is absolutely ruthless. You see just that winning mentality throughout the squad, wanting to win every challenge and not give anything away.
Luke Bratton over the ball. 4 in the wall for Yuji Kajigawa. Bratton only into the wall. Barbarousos. A little push by McGowan on the back there of Ito.
It's a very good positioning defensively. Just blocking McGowan's run, forcing the foul.
Luke Bratton, who took that free kick, wants to be a pro golfer after his career. Could have used a little chip into the corner there. Didn't work quite as he planned. Yokohama Marinos 3, Sydney FC 0. Goals from Ado Onayu and 2 from Terahito Nakagawa. Ogihara, Ado comes short. Ito onto Thiago. Matsubara. Caceres. Marcos. Nakagawa scrambles away from Joel King, whose education will have gone up a notch today. Kida, Endo, Tidaton ahead of him once again. Here is the tie, Tidaton. It's very much at home in this quality. Endo, bundled over in the corner. And more bad news for Sydney FC. Foul from Ryan McGowan.
It was just a brilliant turn. It's a good first touch, great awareness of where McGowan is, and he just slots it away, draws the foul.
McGowan's no mug, 20 caps, and he was made to look a mug there by Endo.
Most of those actually under Ange Postecoglou as well.
A chance to really put a dagger into the heart of Sydney. First half injury time. Yokohama 3-0 up, have a free kick. It's curled in towards Ito. Breaks for Redmayne.
Marcus Jr., quality delivery.
Redmayne bundles it out to Costa Barbarousos, and look at the work from Tidaton to get back and slide that into touch. They are jumping for joy at the Yokohama Stadium, venue of the 2002 World Cup final. The home of the champions of Japan. If only Sydney had a home they could call their own. Looking for Ado, Redmayne, right to the edge of his penalty area. Half-time comes, and it has been a blistering performance from the J-League champions. Ado Onayu with a deflection off Alex Wilkinson, but then a brace coming from Terahito Nakagawa. The first, a cool little lift over the goalkeeper. The second, a good finish after Tidaton's pass. Andre Lafondre and the rest of Sydney look absolutely bemused as they have a long talk at half-time. They trail Yokohama Marinos by 3-0.
This bittersweet heat is suffocating. bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Suffocating, I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.
Looking ahead to a brand new football season and through all the plenty to discuss.
Very warm welcome back to Fox Sports coverage of the AFC Champions League group stages. Just seeing the third goal put in by Yokohama Flugels Marinos, or Yokohama F Marinos to give them that proper name, in a captivating first half against Australia's runaway league leaders, Sydney FC, runners-up in the league last year. They actually won the playoff competition. 12 games unbeaten in the A-League so far. They've only had one defeat all year, yet here they find themselves 3-0 down at half-time. It was 3 down inside 35 minutes. A shell-shocked PJ Roberts alongside me in the commentary box. PJ, we spoke before about how Australian teams struggle this isn't because of travelling, this is because they're up against a really top-class team.
Certainly is. Coming into this game in outstanding form domestically, real self-belief and a real desire to achieve and do well in this competition. And they've been absolutely blown away in the first 33 minutes where those 3 goals were scored. Absolutely relentless has been this performance. They have been brilliant defensively. We talk about the attacking intent and how clever they have been when in possession and entering those dangerous areas for Sydney FC. But what has been such an important part of their performance this evening for me is defensively how they set up. They have absolutely suffocated Sydney FC in those midfield areas, not allowed them any room to be able to play out and build any real momentum. They've forced them into mistakes, they've forced them to give the ball away cheaply, and they've capitalised.
And there is an example of the pressing high up in the Australian team's half, Sydney's half. 5 blue shirts forcing the error. Here's Tidderton. Assist for the 3rd goal. Finds Endo. Tidderton wants the corner kick. Doesn't get the corner kick. He likes the finger wagging, Tidderton, doesn't he?
Yeah, it'd be frustrating there not to have been awarded the corner kick. Certainly looked as though it should have been a corner kick. That does infuriate you when you're a player.
Let me just run through the teams. Sydney first. We'll start with their defence. Andrew Redmayne in goal. Faultless for the 3 goals. Had no chance. A back 4, Ryan Grant, Alex Wilkinson, Ryan McGowan and Joel King. Luke Bratton and Paulo Retra in midfield. Ante Caceres, Costa Barbarouses and Alex Bumjohan behind Adam Lafondra. There's Barbarouses. He too's looking a little bit shell-shocked as Redmayne punts it long. Looking for Alex Bumjohan. Finds Tidderton. Strong tackle coming in from Luke Bratton. He's put himself about a lot, has Bratton.
Yeah, he's worked hard in those midfield areas. Certainly loves the challenge. Marcos Jr.'s been the recipient of a few.
Barbarouses presses. This is Ito. And Postecoglou's team playing out from the back. Tidderton down the line only finds Ryan Grant. Wilkinson. Redmayne onto McGowan, who will be immediately pressed by Endo. Grant is there. He's pressed by Tidderton. Done well, Ryan Grant. Nice touch, but it's a blue shirt that'll pick it up. Kido. Tidderton, lovely fancy play, finds Endo. Talk about self-confidence. Bratton. Johan gives it away. Hasn't been playing regularly in the first team, and it's showing a little bit as Endo finds Tidderton. He took a little bit of a piggyback on the back of Luke Bratton. Marcos Jr. does his bit for international relations. Bratton rather appreciates it. Long ball dealt with by Makito Ito. And then Tidderton. Ito has got Kajigawa available, decides not to use him. Finds Kido instead. Marcos Jr. Matsubara. Bit of a struggle, but finds Kido and Tidderton. That time it was Sydney doing the pressing. Marcos Jr. Lovely little first-time pass. Endo in space. And not enough space on the pitch.
Just another example. Sydney FC giving the ball away cheaply. Yokohama with superb pressing high up the park. Just forcing the mistakes, forcing the error.
First time pass from Kajikawa. He's hardly touched the ball with his hands, Kajikawa, but has still managed to impress.
He's had very little to do this evening.
Metre did well behind Costa Barbarouses. King, Barbarouses. 35 years of age now, Barbarouses. Good stretch from Grant. And then the cross comes in. The Fondra. And decides to keep that alive. The Brazilian centre-back Thiago Martins is first to react, and Marcos Jr. with Luke Bratton for company once again, spreads the ball out wide. This is Endo, chance to drive through. Endo onto his right foot. Endo to Marcos Jr. Tap in for Ado Onayu. Sydney ripped apart.
The second half has begun very much as how the first half ended. Ade just drifting into that back post area. One of the easiest finishes you'll ever get. Again, here's this build-up play. There's no real danger in this situation. It's a simple 3v3. Just the cleverness of play, overlapping run of Marcos Jr. to create a 4-on-3 situation. Just clips it into the back post for Ado. Again, it's the run from Marcos Jr. and it was a big surging run to get forward to support an attack which created that extra man.
Well, what an acquisition Ado Onayu may well prove to be. 2 goals today. Two goals for Nagagawa, and I think the rest of the J-League will be looking on at this and saying,